Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is the join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that. Well, the build up to the 2026 general elections seem to be getting interesting. So Antonio Mwanza is reported to launch his political party. So we have labored and sacrificed for others in hope that we would do the best for the country. There comes a time in a man's life when you have to take the mantle and lead, and that time is here. We will do ourselves. We do it for ourselves, which must be for ourselves. We will fight our own battles and sing our own songs. This generation is solemn duty to fight for itself and generations to come. We are fired up and we are ready to go. So that's Antonio Mwanza's message quoted by the Patriotic Front. So if you know his political career, I think he started off in the FDD with Edith Nawakwi, then moved to the Patriotic Front, then he went to Socialist Party for like a year, where he was fired, if I'm not mistaken, and then now he seems to have decided to make his own political party. We'll wait and see how that plays out, but according to the PF, Antonio Mwanza to launch political party. What is that? Chitumukulu visits Shotera and Chilangwa to maximum prison, assures the two that God will deliver them from their torment, as they complain that they are daily subjected to physical and emotional abuse and are humiliated and mocked by prison warders. So Chitumukulu took an entourage to and visit those two former members of parliament. And it has been reported also by the Patriotic Front. They use the same headline there of the Chitumukulu's visit, the number of other member chiefs that went to visit the two incarcerated members of parliament there. What is the conversation of the eligibility case, which is likely to come up in like now 3 days' time, of Edgar Lungu, seems to be taking center stage in the nation. There is nothing else that seems to be overshadowing this. And different sectors of the societies are offering their opinions, their 2 cents about the issue. So obviously, Patriotic Front posts an article posted by Tandiwe Angoma. They say, why is President Hakainde Hichilema desperately trying to block former President Lungu from contesting in 2026 elections? It is does not take a political expert to see that President Hakainde Hichilema is directly involved in the eligibility case against former President Edgar Lungu. His aggressive push to prevent former President Dr. Edgar Lungu from contesting in 2026 is less about upholding the law, more about securing his tenure in office, according to that article. And then it goes further to highlight the number of things. So then later on in the day, a group of students chanting that no Lungu, no elections in 2026 were seen to go and meet Edgar Lungu. So these are the images that are posted by the Patriotic Front. I say no Lungu, no election in 2026. Students chant. This afternoon, riot gear police officers blocked students from various higher learning institutions from meeting Zambia's 6th Republican President, His Excellency Dr. Edgar Lungu. This afternoon, the students came to offer support to President Lungu ahead of the eligibility case coming up on 10th December 2024. Upon arrival, the students were ahead chanting "No Lungu, no elections in 2026." So those are the images that you see on screen, where it's alleged to say these are students from higher learning institutions that are the meeting with Edgar Lungu. Obviously, the police went there immediately. And then Patriotic Front Secretary General Raphael Nakashinda addresses students who had come to pay a courtesy call on former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. So that's Nakachinda addressing the students that had come to meet him before the police came in. So there's a video to that. And then more images, students from various universities and higher institutions of education disperse, say they will give the police notice to support the cause of the constitution and the cause for Edgar Chagwa Lungu. You cannot let the courts hear a matter that has been settled 4 times. This is abuse of the court process. So that's an argument that the students put across, and then you see those images and the number of buses that transported those students interacting with the police there. And then with regard to the same case, Chief Justice approves request from private media houses to broadcast live the presidential eligibility case. Here are the highlights from the press briefing from the judiciary. So His Lordship, Chief Justice Dr. Mumba Mulina, State Council has considered and granted requests from private media houses, namely Diamond TV, Prime TV, Hot FM, and News Diggers, to broadcast live the proceedings of the presidential eligibility case before the Constitutional Court, scheduled to take place on Tuesday, 10th December 2024. The decision underscores the judiciary's recognition of the significant public interest in the matter and dedication to foster transparency, accountability within the judicial system. The live broadcast will enable members of the public to observe the proceedings from the comfort of their homes, and will assist in reducing castigations at the court premises, congestion at the court premises, to ensure safety and security and convenience of all parties involved. So that's the news dynamic, because earlier on, if you remember, it was only ZNBC that was allowed, should have been a couple of days ago. And obviously those media houses applied to say they also want to broadcast the same, and they've been granted that. So those named media houses will be able to do that, as reported by the Ministry of Information and Media in Zambia. There, some more images of police around Cresta Hotel in Ibex Hill, prevent students from meeting former President Edgar Lungu. So those are the police images. And then 2 bus operators from Kolima Tower bus station that were earlier booked to transport students from Levi and Unza students, University of Zambia Universities, and Unza universities, whatever they mean there, have been suspended from operating in Kolima Tower, and the students were scheduled to meet Edgar Chagwa Lungu this afternoon. So aside from the other 2 buses that you saw in those images, it seems like there are some other students that were supposed to come from Mwanza, which is the University of Zambia, and then also from Levi Medical University there. And then, so because they wanted to do that, they've been suspended from operating from Kolima Tower, as reported by the Patriotic Front there. So those are the buses that were present. So these are expected to have come from other institutions aside from Levi and the University of Zambia. And those were the police that were on ground to ensure this does not take place. And those are the images and the buses that were present at the time. To which NIPA responded immediately, clarification regarding non-involvement in PF student for PF National League as a political and political affairs. We wish to unequivocally clear to the general public that the political parties concerning stakeholders, that NIPA has no association or involvement in the recent PF Student National League and political activities. So simply NIPA distancing itself, saying no students from the institution allegedly participated in that march to go and advocate for Edgar Lungu's situation with regard to the upcoming judgment that's coming up next Tuesday. But the UPND has also reported a number of court cases that will be adjudicated on. So on Friday, December 6th, which is today, right now, 2024, ruling on Daliso's birthday present. So Edgar Lungu's son, the judgment is going to be in a couple of hours today, right now. So you expect a judgment in that case. Some of the court process of crime properties that is in court for which the UPND referred to as his birthday present, is going to coming up for judgment today. And then on Tuesday, December 10th, 2024, Edgar Chagwa HBT ruling. And then on 17th December, Shotela's sentencing. So that's the outline of court rulings or sentencings that are coming up in this December. It's a very busy month for the Patriotic Front. What is the cyber security bill and crimes bill to go home? It has been rejected. So the Patriotic Front at the press briefing in Parliament earlier on, the members of Parliament, they say when Hakainde Hichilema criticized the Cyber Security and Cyber Crimes Act in 2021, he said it was aimed at suspending freedoms of expression for citizens. Consequently, his promise to repeal the law would have been one of his first actions once elected into office. Well, he was elected into office in 2021, and this is now the end of 2024, and he hasn't repealed and yet an act yet. Instead, he wanted to repeal it and replace it with two draconian laws from ancient diasporic thinking. I am most proud of, I wish to thank various stakeholders who spoke against the government's going ahead with the two draconian bills. The church in Zambia, progressive civil societies, organizations including Law Association of Zambia, members of parliament, concerned individuals, and Generation Z or Gen Z. Thank you all for standing and expressing in the beliefs of rights, not only not only for you, but also for a constituents that you represent. This is how it ought to be. And then part of the bill was this: we call on government to immediately withdraw the cyber security bill from the National Assembly and allow for transparent and meaningful consultative process with stakeholders before the introduction. So that's the last argument. More from that. Terms like misinformation and national security threat in the process of in the proposed cybersecurity bill are undefined and leaving room for subjective interpretation and misuse, says the Law Association of Zambia. So that was the argument coming from LAS. They proposed surveillance measures under Part 5 and of the cybersecurity bill would enable mass data collection by the state without judicial oversight, creating risks of abuse, says the Law Association of Zambia. So those are the arguments that were coming from LAS with regard to the cybersecurity bill. Provision of cybersecurity bill undermines the fundamental rights and the freedoms guaranteed in the Zambian constitution, says the Law Association of Zambia. Pretty much, this bill has been kicked out of parliament until further notice as things stand. What is Dr. Nevas Mumba's weighed in also with regard to the eligibility case that is about to take place for Edgar Lungu? That's the conversation in the nation. Everything else is just by the way. It seems to have taken center stage, and you have to congratulate the judiciary for deciding to broadcast it so that people make their own assessments of the judgment as it comes up, because that's what everyone is talking about. So Nevas Mumba had this to say. So legal minds gather here. I have a question. So this is an article that he had put up just a couple of hours ago. As we continue to follow the developments in the eligibility case for former President Edgar Chagwa slated for 10th December 2024, in which which has been adjudicated for several times and yet seems to have made its way in the Constitutional Court again. My opinions, many opinions have been made and on their way in various public platforms. And this has left many people wondering what are the legal issues here. Without diving into the matters that are properly being the competent courts, being covered by the competent courts, I think we could still discuss the perennial issues against which this backdrop. I propose a question to our legal minds, and then he asks the following question. Does Zambian law provide for mechanisms for a final court to reopen a case that was previously decided, and specifically on grounds that error of law under the circumstances, if any, does the law allow the case to be that was previously decided to be brought back before the highest court of the land? So he has to say, since the court has been has made a decision several times on this court case. Is it right for it to be back again? That's the first question. And in other words, if a final court, such as the Constitutional Court, realizes it made a mistake in applying the law, such as misinterpretation of the slated regulation, applying the wrong legal principle, failing to consider relevant law in making its incorrect ruling on a point of law, can it be revisited? Can it revisit the previous decision? I would love to hear from lawyers, law students, and anyone with knowledge of the Zambian law on this topic. Share your insights. So never ask that question. So if you have information on where the Zambian Constitution and everything else stands with regard to the law, give your feedback in the comment section there. And so former Wama Director General Keith Yendu sentenced to 2 years imprisonment by EFCC for corruption. And then Hakainde Hichilema, Biden confer on the bitter trade relations, debt reform. So the president is in Angola right now. There's a meeting between Congo, Angola, the United States, and Zambia. Yeah, that's what the president is there for. That's where he had the bilateral meeting with Joe Biden. Zambia runs out of fuel. Let the country not be cheated. We have nothing left in stock. So says this is according to the Mass newspaper. The UPND needs to revisit the economic policies. Winter Kavimba says there. What else is in the news? I am not shy to tell you that I am UPND. We are enjoying the government of the day, says Senior Chief Mpindi. So he says he's a staunch UPND there. That's the chief issuing that statement. And that's the news, ladies and gentlemen.